Oh friends, end time prophecy is being fulfilled all around us as we speak. Now of course Europe gets her name from Europa, a beautiful Phoenician princess who in Greek mythology was raped and abducted by Zeus, who disguised himself as a bull, and of which the Apostle John identifies in his visions as the woman riding the beast. Now you can see images of this all over Europe, and most notably at the Parliament buildings in Brussels and Strasbourg. Now that raping of Europe has been interpreted as symbolic up until now, and so too it continues to be as the EU rapes Europe. But now, shockingly friends, it has also reached a literal fulfilment too. Now all across Europe, since the EU have adopted an open invitation to migrants, I'm sorry to say friends that reports of sexual assault and rape have risen all over Europe, and most recently on New Year's Eve in the city of Cologne, Germany, where they now say that men of North African origin committed over 500 criminal cases, and 40% of which are said to be sexual assault. Now the mainstream media and the EU are doing its best to play it down as much as they can and singling out right-wing extremists as those who oppose the influx of migrants. Now, earlier last year, when it all kicked off in the media, the news went as far as to show and report that German citizens and other nations were welcoming them in at the train stations. Well, the last time I was in Germany, I learned of specific cases where the people had been actually paid to show their support so it could be captured on camera, which brings into question all other displays of this nature, doesn't it? Now, as people begin to respond against this migrant influx, all we mostly see in the press are thug-type, racist-looking white men. But friends, this is only to serve to support the mainstream rhetoric that anyone opposed to the migrants coming to Europe are mere racists. This is untrue. Obviously not in all cases, but it's untrue, friends. All kinds of well-informed people from all different spheres of society who have not been taken in by the propaganda see another side to this crisis. Now again friends, let me just reiterate, as I have before, I know there are many migrants who need real assistance, and we as Christians should have compassion on these people. But friends, it's clear, as I've said before, that this crisis has brought with it thousands of young men who do not share and value life in the way Europeans do. They care not for women. Women are underdogs in their culture, in their religion, which sadly to say friends is Islam. Now just a few days ago while I was in Germany, I got the opportunity to speak at length with a woman who works on the trains who runs services to Cologne. Now she told me emphatically that she is leaving her job as it's now too dangerous. Now she is a single parent and doesn't know what she will do, as she is now fearing for her own safety. Now one of her roles on the trains is ticket enforcement for those people attempting to travel without a ticket. Now she returned back to work after the new year to find that the situation on the trains had descended into total anarchy. She said she was really shocked. In every carriage, up to 6 to 8 North African men aged between 18 to 25 who were dressed in casual modern clothing, she said, were creating havoc. They wouldn't let her pass by their seats by sticking out their legs. They made sexual hand gestures and blew kisses at her. She said they had no respect for the women. They wolf whistled and blew kisses at me, she said, and made disgusting sexual gestures. She also went on to say that now the migrants on Friday nights lay in wait for young German people who are returning home on the train after a night out drinking. The migrants then pass through the train carriages and steal their money and mobile phones while they're sleeping. Now believe it or not friends, police have told the train company and staff to not bother calling them to report on any problems because there's too many migrants. They cannot deal with the problem, they said. Now friends, it was so obvious what was going to happen as we opened the doors wide. Now let's not imagine that the analysts, the politicians and the professionals didn't also know what would take place. Friends, they're better informed than us. Now friends, this only serves to show one thing. Friends, the stage is being set for mass crackdowns, curfews and martial law. Already the armies of Europe are being deployed across the continent to try and contain the possible threat of terrorism. And now with this other prong to the escalating crisis, Europe is set for some very big changes over the coming years. Let's be forewarned and ready, friends. Let's not be naive and ignorant. Let's not bury our heads in the sand. Let's not be taken in by the propaganda